Not only a win for Starkville Police, it could have a ripple effect through law enforcement altogether.
Another agency in the Golden Triangle says the break is giving their investigators hope they'll also find that last piece of the puzzle in some of their cold cases they've been working on. Our Jory Talley joins us live at the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department with more.
A crack in a cold case is obviously something every investigator and detective and department is after. It finally means closure for the victim and their families, and we saw it all play out yesterday in Starkville.
Even if you get it 20 years later, you're still trying to piece together a puzzle that somebody else started.
Midge Ponds, Kayla Morris, the 5 elderly men and women killed in the 90s. Those are some of the cases that still haunt investigators in Columbus and Lowndes County.
When you're working the case, you go into it, you're trying to find those pieces that somebody else may have missed. You're trying to put together something that somebody may have overlooked. A lot of these cases have been looked at by a lot of eyes. A lot of them, they did a really good job on there. There's just not enough to piece it all together.
Lowndes County Detective Brent Swan has been a part of 30 to 40 different cold cases throughout Columbus, Lowndes, and Monroe counties. He says working cold cases becomes personal.
When you imagine somebody coming in and committing a crime against your grandparents or your family members, you can put yourself in their shoes and see how important that is. That helps fuel us also to want to try to solve it even more for them, because we can imagine that this could be my grandmother that happened to. This could be my grandfather.
Swan and the Sheriff's Department are currently working on several cold cases, including the 1986 disappearance of Midge Ponds, who was last seen at a convenience store before she vanished.
It's been a lot of work done in the past prior to me coming to Lowndes County, but there's been a lot of extensive work also that's been done in the past year, trying to develop leads. Not only that one, but there's some missing person cases. There's some other cases that we're just trying to piece together and find that new lead that we need to be able to solve it.
The public may see them as cold cases, but to the detectives, they're still very fresh.
We're still having current things that go on. We're still having active cases that come in day to day that we have to stay on top of, but you always have to shuffle your schedule enough to be able to go back and look and not forget the fact that, you know, there's a family out there that still has lost a loved one, and the fact that there's a case out there that needs to be solved.
And when those cases get solved, hope follows right behind.
When one of us has a successful case, especially like the case that just happened in Starkville 28 years later, that gives us hope that, hey, my case is not that old, or hey, I've still got a lead that I can possibly develop something, we can solve this case.
Swan helped solve one of the cold cases of one of those elderly murders. About a year and a half ago, he assisted with the arrest that was made in the 1990